Okay, this will be the con summary. So this is the first of the two summaries. The trick here is that it's going to probably skip a few arguments here or there or drop a few things because there's simply not enough time to go for everything. So we focus on the arguments that we think are most important. So we'll start on the con flow, then go to the pro. All right. On the con, at the very top, extend our A subpoint, which says that loan forgiveness increases inflation by increasing the federal deficit. This is because it costs $1.7 trillion. This forces the government to print more money to make up for that deficit, which increases the supply of money, decreasing the value of money. That makes prices go up. So that's how we get to inflation. Their only response here is the Fulwiler evidence that says that they increase jobs and they increase the GDP, but that's not responsive to the fact that they still spend $1.7 trillion. They are saying that taxes, like we take in more money on taxes because more people have a job, more people are paying taxes, and that's probably a good thing, but it doesn't actually make up for the huge price tag of student loan forgiveness. So if you want to go for their argument, they have to prove that they're actually making up $1.7 trillion in taxes, which they just don't. And then go down to the B subpoint, which is about how loan forgiveness increases the expectation of inflation. It makes people think that inflation is going to increase in the coming years ahead, and so they change their behavior right now, which contributes to inflation happening right now. So because they predict it happening, it causes more inflation to actually happen. They don't respond to this link, so this is a clean link where they're conceding that they create inflation. So from there, extend our E subpoint, which is the impact we're going to go for here, which is that increase in inflation causes us to increase interest rates. That's a bad thing because when we increase interest rates, that hurts economies worldwide because people take resources out of those economies and put them into the U.S. to take advantage of our higher interest rates. That causes global increases in poverty and global decreases in GDP. We're talking about millions and millions of people in much harsher poverty than anything that they're talking about on their case. So this impact outweighs. It's the biggest impact in the round. Saving versus spending is not a question that interacts with this because they're only talking about saving in the U.S. We're talking about poverty globally. So go over to the pro then. On the pro, on incarceration, extend our first point, which is that the status quo solves the problem with fresh start. Also remember the subpoint, the point under that, which says that we're down to 1% of defaults in the status quo because of this, which means that the status quo has already solved 99% of the problem. They're telling you that people in prison still can't get access and there's still people who are left behind by this, but at best, this means that they're solving, even if they solve the problem, they're only solving for 1% of it. That's almost no people. So it's still a very, very small impact. Then go down to contention 2, which is education. Extend our third subpoint, which is the tuition hikes argument, which is that loan forgiveness increases the price of college in the long term. Their response here is that we don't care about recruiting teachers. We're talking about retaining the good teachers we have now. But first, you should care about recruiting teachers because long term, if you don't recruit, it will become a massive problem and the shortage is going to increase. So even if teachers get better now and we retain some teachers now, longer term, they are preventing the recruitment of teachers, which is going to make this problem massive in the long term. So even if you want to go for their arguments, inflation and global poverty are still just way bigger. So vote con.